Welcome to That's Canon, a podcast talking about the Canon film series and other similar movies. This is episode 47, and I'm Phil.
And I'm dead inside.
I I don't doubt it because we had the unfortunate or fortunate, depending on how you want to look at it, privilege of watching the 1985 American comedy horror film Hard Rock Zombies that fails at both comedy and horror.
Yes. Yes, it
Uh,
does.
the movie stars a cast and crew of nobody.
Oh yeah, firm nobody's not even one that's guy, like a character actor that we might recognize from these other trash movies we watch. But it's got to be like a town of random people who just kind of got together and made a movie.
You know
All
what?
nobodies.
That's exactly what I thought. I was like, this is a Sunday afternoon in this town that they're filming in. Everyone's having a great time. They're all lying to themselves, thinking that this is going to be
Gee
great.
whiz, we're gonna make it big in
Ex-
Hollywood.
exactly. Um, I'm just gonna blow it right now. Originally, Hard Rock Zombies was only meant to be about 20 minutes long and solely used as a feature movie in American Drive-In. At some point during the production, the decision was made to invest just a little bit more money and come out with two full-length feature films instead of just one. So think of it like this. You remember like when remember movies, remember when you watch a movie and sometimes inside of those movies there's like a fake movie, kind of like Home Alone, right? There's that,
uh,
like
oh
there's
yeah,
that
the
fake movie inside the movie.
keep the change, you filthy animal.
This was supposed to be the fake movie inside of American Drive-In.
Oh my God. Are you kidding me? That's actually pretty interesting.
It is interesting, but it doesn't excuse.
I mean, it explains a lot. I'll say that much, but it's
Yes.
kind of an interesting origin story. I mean, I feel like lots of us, you bring up Home Alone, that's a great example. Like, I feel like a lot of us probably went and to try and go look for what was the name of them? It's like Angels with No Wings or something like
Yeah,
that.
Angel with No Wings or like Angels with Dirty Wings or something.
Yeah, something like that. I feel like a lot of people went to go look for that movie and were probably kind of disappointed that it didn't exist in real life.
Yeah.
But
The,
no one thought that about Hard Rock Zombies.
it's
Not
always
not a
the
one.
the urban legend that it's real. That's a real movie. And it's like, no, it's not.
Mm,
No, it's
I mean, it
not.
might be cool, but geez, I kind of want to. So did they still use the short version for
Yeah.
that other movie? Wow.
From my understanding, it is in American Drive-In. So if
Huh.
we watch American Drive-In, we will see scenes of Hard Rock Zombies inside of it.
Wow. That's so meta.
It is. That's like some Inception type stuff.
I hope the people in that movie also hate this movie. It's
That
like
would be.
it's just like a scene of people throwing up and keeling over because it's so bad.
I will say this: I have no hope for American Drive-In to be good because it's written and directed by the same guy,
Oh no.
Krishna Shah.
It's like layer. It's like an onion. It's like a Shrek onion of bad.
Yeah,
Or it's like, you like, you guys like bad movies, right? So we put a bad movie in your bad movie so you can watch a bad movie while you watch a bad movie.
it's interesting for sure, and it is a canon film. So, well, no, wait, let me take a look here. Production company is Double Helix Films, so it doesn't.
Mm.
That's even weirder than
Did
that.
it didn't even get
American
distributed?
Drive-In doesn't even look like it's a canon film.
So that like short circuited my brain. So the Canon guys thought it was a good idea to like pick up and distribute this the extended movie within the movie, but not the movie that it was made for originally.
That's weird.
Wait, are we? Is this like some kind of Berenstain Bears thing, where
This
like
this
in a different universe they did pick up to like it? I'm yeah, wow. I'm I don't know what to say.
That
That's
is
so
kind of
weird.
weird that it's not distributed by Canon Films. Interesting. This movie was released in September 1985. It's 98 minutes long, and if it was originally supposed to only be 20 minutes long, it's 78 minutes too long. Um,
Mhm.
I guess we can kind of get into it. I don't know about you. Let me just ask this right up. Did you make it all the way through?
I did.
Wow.
It was real close to stopping that to smashing that stop button because had we not gotten the like absolute brain melting twist about halfway through, which I will not spoil right now, like I spoiled the Halloween Kills thing that you tried to say last time. um, if that hadn't happened to kind of like rouse me from the stupor I was in, I probably would have shut this off.
Yeah. Same here. That's not to say that I paid attention the entire time though.
Oh no, 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 no. But it was at least interesting enough at the end and different enough that I kept it through it. I wanted to see where it was going.
Which says a lot. And as the movie opens, Hard Rock Zombies is emblazoned across the screen as we are driving breakneck speed through a tunnel. And then we cut to a lake where a bunch of little people are peeping in on a woman. At first, I thought they were having sex in the water, but she's straight up drowning people.
Yeah, they show with the credits, they like show like a little bit of like she's like a hitchhiker and these people picked her up and then they go skinny dipping and you think they're just like playing around in the water, but no, she's legitimately drowning this guy.
And in the bushes, there's a guy taking photos, and with the little person is another little person, but you slowly realize it's like a demon little person. And I mean, I don't mean that in like a he's an evil little person. He is straight up a demon.
He is literally in like goblin makeup.
Yeah.
What?
Oh,
Yeah, this was the first of many like, wait, what kinds of moments for me because
yeah.
you don't like it's just like a quick flash of this little goblin's face, and you're like, wait, what was that? Was that like a guy in a goblin mask? And it's just not addressed at all for like 20 minutes.
It's really weird. One of the little people is played by Phil Fondancaro. I'm probably saying his name wrong. Fondacaro. It's probably Italian. It's probably like
Fun de
Fondancaro.
Caro.
Fondacaro. Probably out of all the actors who are also little people, he is very recognizable because he has like strong Italian features. And he's been in a lot of movies. He was an Ewok in Star Wars Episode 6. He was in Willow. He was in the Garbage Pail Kids movies.
Hmm.
He was in, I want to say he was in an episode of Seinfeld as well.
Interesting.
So this guy has definitely been in a lot of things. He was also in Ghoulies.
Wow.
But
So this
yeah,
this guy, this like who gets probably like 5 minutes total screen time in the entire movie, has probably the most extensive career of anyone in this picture.
oh, most definitely. And he's in a lot of horror movies too. He's also in American Drive-In.
Wait. Like as a character in that movie, or was he credited because he's a character in the movie within the movie?
In American Drive-In, okay, so Hard Rock Zombies, he's credited as playing Mickey. In
Yeah.
American Drive-In, he's credited as playing Rocky. So he is a different character altogether in
Wow.
it. So in the movie American Drive-In, where they watch the movie Hard Rock Zombies, he plays a character that is not the actor, I'm assuming, of the character in the movie that they're watching.
I think we just lost our entire like two people listening to this episode. They're like, what the fuck are they talking about?
It's yeah, it's definitely odd. He also played cousin It in Adam's Family Reunion, the TV movie that starred Daryl Hannah and Tim Curry. I don't know why, but they were like, I guess, schlepping in this film because
For
those
a
are actually
TV
like,
movie.
yeah, I know, right? Weird. Let's get back to this piece of crap. Uh, so they cut off the now drowned dude's hand, and she kind of crosses it across her cheek, and then we cut to our main characters. They're hard rockers, and I got to tell you, Greg, as soon as you start hearing the songs that they're singing and the characterization in quotes of these characters in quotes, they're despicable. They're
Yeah,
pedophiles.
yeah, they're basically pedophiles because like all of their songs and their behavior is all just like schmoozing with underage girls, like groupies.
Yeah.
in a really creepy way.
I think like one of the songs is essentially like, hey, I know you're young, but I still love you and I want to get with you and I know it's wrong,
But I'm gonna do it anyway
but I'm gonna
because
do it anyways.
metal.
Yeah. In fact, like when they're back after the show, they're backstage and they're kind of, doing their hard rock lifestyle thing. The lead singer of the band sees a girl, and I was like, wow, she looks really young. And he's even like, hey, little girl, you want to come back here and
Yeah,
party with me?
yeah. He says, "Hey, little girl." No,
Yeah.
that's not okay, dude.
It's
Don't
I
do
don't know if
that.
it's I don't know if it's ever okay to talk to a girl and say, hey, little girl, even if your intentions are not, evil, right?
Yeah, I
It's
mean
just kind of like a creepy thing to say.
it is a creepy thing to say, especially when you proceed to hit on her afterwards.
Yeah.
Uh,
Uh
but I
and
do like the
unfortunately,
fact that she's basically like the portent of doom.
she is. She's the creepy old man in the woods who tells the
Yeah.
kids, don't go to Camp Crystal Lake. Except this time, it, it's a little girl who, yeah, I don't know. It's
She's like
just
maybe 15 or something like that. She doesn't look like
maybe.
a kid, but she's not like an adult woman.
Yeah.
And yeah, her only purpose in this scene is to A, get hit on, and B, tell the Hard Rock guys to not come to the next town because it's did she say why? Like, or did she just say like you're in danger or it's
You're in
dangerous, just
danger.
don't
They don't
come?
want you there. Don't come to
Yeah,
the town.
yeah. But she doesn't hear. He just keeps hitting on her.
Yeah. And then he proceeds to write a song about her as they're traveling to the town. Um that's just essentially kind of like, yeah, I know you're young and I don't care. I'm gonna get into your underwear. Um
I don't like that you rhymed those words.
I
Not
know.
at all.
um Eventually the Hard Rockers pull up to a house and it's owned by the murderess that we saw earlier in the film, and her friends are with her. I almost thought we were about to get some animal cruelty, but they cut away right before they cut off a chicken's head. So,
Yeah, it's weird that you mentioned the Adams family before because that's the kind of vibe I got from this.
yeah,
There's like the blonde lady who drowned the people who picked her up and as a hitchhiker. But and then she's got like a werewolf grandma and grandpa,
which makes no sense.
which
I
makes
don't
no
think they ever
sense.
explain it at
And
all.
there's a little goblin guy, and then there's the normal little person, and then there's like a groundskeeper, like a skinhead groundskeeper.
Yep.
And is there anyone else in this motley crew?
Uh, and then the demon little guy, the demonic little guy.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, it's kind of weird.
It's like a little like a knockoff Adams family.
One of the little guys, little people. Oh, God damn it! What do we say here? I don't want to say the wrong thing the entire podcast.
Little people.
One of
I
the
think that's the right one.
one of the little people hands one of the Hard Rockers the severed hand, and they're like, the woman has to play it off. She's like, oh, it's just a fake prop, blah blah blah. uh, I'm pretty sure you'd be able to know that it's a severed hand, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm no medical expert, but I feel like I'd be able to tell the difference between like a rubber prop and an actual human hand.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, but as they transition into the house, the woman is now putting the hand in, I would assume, formaldehyde or maybe just a giant jar of piss.
Yeah. I actually wrote that down. I was like, did that lady just put a hand in a jar of piss?
Yeah.
Because it's
Uh,
that's what it looks like.
but you cut up the horror by having an impromptu dance music video thing. And this is at first, without knowing the history of what this is, I would have put dollars to donuts that this movie was funded by a real band in order to get clout, right? Like,
Oh
because they do
yeah.
play multiple essentially music videos in this film.
Oh yeah, that's one of my big takeaways is like normally in like a music like a rock road trip thing, like you don't get whole songs, but we get like three or four of them, like whole music videos, just kind of peppered in throughout this whole movie.
The music video is about the same subject, wanting young women.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I
It's
guess it's a horror movie, and that is kind of horrifying. So,
it is horrifying, and you know what's even more horrifying? Because I don't have a lot to talk about for this film, is the real world, I guess, callbacks of this happening in rock and roll lifestyles. Are you ready to start hating some bands, Greg?
yeah,
All
sign me up.
right. Do you like Aerosmith?
Not really.
Okay, well, you're about to dislike them even more because at one point, Steven Tyler was able to get a power of attorney over a 15-year-old girl. And after making her tour with them for years and having abortions and getting her hooked on drugs, he just abandoned her back at her parents' house.
Ugh, what a jerk. That's
Uh,
ugh. Yep, confirmed. Dislike them even more now.
do you like The Who?
Oh no.
They did essentially that as well.
Ugh.
Yep. It's kind of weird that
How
like
did this happen? Like,
I think
were
it's
the
because it
parents
was the
just
70s.
absentee?
I think so. I think it's because it's the 70s and the 80s. Things were a little more, I guess, hush hush, right? I mean, this is probably back in the time where, she went to the farm over the summer and,
Oh, and she didn't really like tell her parents where she was like piecing out to for a couple months while they're on tour.
yeah. Led Zeppelin
Oh, yeah.
is his has been accused of doing this. There's a laundry list of, you know, uh big rockers, right? Mick Jagger. I'm not too surprised about Mick Jagger being on the list. That one is kind of like, yeah. Uh Elvis Presley, he met his wife when she was 14 years old and they hid it from the world. And then when she turned 18, essentially they got married.
Oh, what a coincidence.
Uh
Ugh.
Ted Nugent has multiple songs about pedophilia.
I mean, we have to like the elephant in the room is My Sharona, right?
Oh my
Like
god,
that
yes.
that's got to be the biggest, most like well-known example. I mean, the lyrics alone, which I'm not going to
Is
repeat here because in context of this conversation, they're hella creepy,
Yeah.
but
And
everyone
the
knows.
the one that got me out of the list that I found was Anthony Kiedis from the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Hmm.
And you might be thinking like maybe it's a misunderstanding, maybe someone's getting the account wrong. He actually wrote it in his autobiography, which means that he wrote his own biography. In case you don't know what autobiography means, uh, that he met and had sexual relations with a 14-year-old girl.
Isn't
Disgusting.
this isn't this the guy? Like, didn't he go to like somewhere in Asia to do like become like a Buddhist monk or something for a while? Like, wasn't he really into that, or am I thinking about
Yeah,
someone else?
I think that's him. Disgusting.
Yeah, that. I mean, based on again, coming back to this movie, I'm not terribly surprised, but it kind of makes this movie seem even like filthier that it was all like not too far off real life.
Which is, I guess, that's the true horror. Is not the demonic little people,
We were the
the
monsters the
werewolf
whole
grandma.
time.
It's just the fact that rock and rollers are disgusting humans.
Disgusting people. And the ghouls in this town were just trying to do us all a favor by
Pretty
eating their
much,
skin.
pretty much. The rock and rollers find Cassie, another young woman of pure heart, and of course, the lead singer wants to bang her. And they introduce the dad character. The dad's like, get back home, blah, blah, blah.
Okay, that's actually my like runner-up quote of the week is what he says to this like lead singer when he shows up and he's like, creeping around his daughter. He's like, get the fuck out of town, you little pecker.
Yeah. And you know what? He's obviously supposed to be the John Lithgow character from not Dirty Dancing, Footloose, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I don't like rock and roll, blah, blah, blah.
yeah. The kind of uptight, stuffed shirt dad who doesn't understand the kids.
But this guy understands. He understands that this guy is a fucking disgusting pervert.
And he's trying to get this creepy dude away from his daughter, which Yeah, I guess this movie does a really good job of making you sympathize with who I think they assume or tried to be the villains, but yeah, it's the other way around for sure.
Yeah. Then we get introduced to the sheriff character as he locks up all the rock and rollers because they live a degenerate lifestyle and their show is about to get canceled. Um, and again, it's like this really weird, loosely connected vignettes of weird, obscure things. Because as we now cut to a 90-year-old
Yeah.
man and his wife banging, and the little people are wanting to observe them do this, but not join, just observe, which eventually the old man relents because he says something like, "Isn't it adorable that they want to watch us?
They're
It's
so
okay.
cute. Yeah, this
They're
is
so
this
cute."
is there's a couple other weird things here too. Like for some reason, which we didn't know at the time, we will eventually figure out, but they're like speaking in really heavy German accents for some reason.
Yes.
And not only that, but when the little people creep up, like the one in the goblin mask and the one like normal guy, when they creep up and they're like, "Hey, can we watch you?" And they refer to them as grandma and grandpa.
Yep.
Like they want to watch their old German grandparents bang. What? What?
Who thinks of this? Who in their right mind? Because the movie's written by Barry Shipman and Ed Earl Rep. What the hell were
I don't
they
know.
doing?
It's honestly, I mean, I this has to go into the same category as Dr. Heckle and Mr. Hype, where someone wrote this and they thought it was funny, and then they put it in the movie, and it just comes across weird and creepy and disgusting,
And
and
there's
not in a funny way.
like, how does the camera operator, the microphone guy, the boom mic holder, how are they all watching this happen, going, this is acceptable in every single solitary way?
I'll tell you how they're getting a paycheck at the end of the week.
True, I
That's
guess.
literally it.
Yeah. I
They
mean,
don't care.
nail on the head right there. As the movie progresses, the Hard Rockers, they're upset that their show is getting canceled, and essentially they're being told, "Get the fuck out of town. You're no longer wanted here." Um, and they're all upset because I guess this podunk town that they're in is going to be their big break. Uh,
Oh yeah, there's some like it's barely mentioned until later in the movie, but like there's some subplot of the like a record executive coming to hear them here. So that's why like there's like the band manager with them, and he's all pissed off because like, this is supposed to be our big break, and like we need to have a concert because the guy's going to be here to listen to us, and blah 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 blah. And it like yeah it's barely mentioned until the end when like the executive actually shows up.
it's so weird. It's so weird. Um, and then later that evening, Cassie comes to kind of comfort and also warn the Hard Rockers, essentially like, it's okay, but you need to get out of here as soon as possible. But the Hard Rockers set up their sound stage and whatnot at the murderess's home where they're all about to play. And I will
Did
say that this gag actually did make me laugh
did
out of
we
all of them.
did we explain how they got to the house?
I thought
So
that okay, maybe I missed it. I just assumed they just chose to stay there.
so I think didn't wasn't the blonde lady who killed the people in the very beginning, was that the same lady? Was she hitchhiking again? I think the band picked her up and she's like, "Hey, you can stay at our place." And that's how they ended up at the creepy like not Adam's family house.
Hmm.
Did I get that right?
Probably. I just assumed like it's all so hand wavy.
Yeah, it's like trying to put together a puzzle, but like all the puzzle pieces are like, wet,
It's wet. It's in the dark.
made out of cake.
The puzzle's not that interesting. Uh,
Anyway, yeah, they like set up to do like a sound check or something at this house where they're staying, and all the weird family members are kind of watching, right?
and as they're watching, they're about to rock out. And as they do that, someone flips a switch or a breaker somewhere, and they all get electrocuted like at
Oh,
the same
oh
time.
yeah,
And
it
it's
was
awesome.
awesome.
It was such a
Yeah.
good gag.
And I think the reason it landed so well is because by this point in the movie, you just hate this stupid freaking band so much.
Oh yeah.
I, no kidding. I would have like, wouldn't it be great if like they got electrocuted there, and then the band they just died, and then the credits rolled, and then we didn't have to watch the rest of the movie?
I'm
Wouldn't that
kind
be
of
great?
surprised that they didn't die there. Because I mean, obviously they're going to turn into zombies.
Hard rock zombies.
Exactly. That's what I was promised. So I thought it was kind of weird that they didn't die. And I think the creepy family was also very they found it odd that they didn't die there as well.
Yeah.
Um, but then we cut to it's like town hall.
Oh God,
Everyone
that
in
scene.
yeah, it's horrible. It's a horrible scene. Everyone in the city is voting whether or not they should ban rock and roll so they can essentially kick these hard rock, not zombies, out of the town. And it's full
Yeah.
of gags of like masturbation gags and jokes
Oh geez,
and
just like so like such like painfully unfunny jokes. Like they spend the whole like there's probably like 5 minutes in the beginning where they're like having a debate on whether or not to call it a meeting or a session.
yes,
And
which
it
started like
uh
my eyes started glazing over.
oh yeah, this was definitely the scene where I was really, really close to just tapping out and not finishing it.
Oh, definitely. And
It
I
was
don't blame
painful.
you. It is painfully uninteresting in every way. The jokes don't land. At one point, an old guy talks about how they fucked sheep. It was just
Oh
it
God,
was
yeah.
excruciating.
It's like an old farmer, and they're because they're like talking about how rock and roll makes you sin, it makes you have premarital sex, and one guy says, I heard it makes you it makes you self-abuse, and the farmer's like, what self-abuse? And he whispers it in his ear, and he's like, oh, I used to do that all the time, and then remember when we had that sheep out in the field, and
We used to
and
grab him, and then he starts like humping the air,
then they shoo him off the stage. Ugh.
and then they pass the edict that rock and roll is banned even on the radio. So then the sheriff is like, he's essentially like, everyone needs to give me all their records, everything that has rock and roll, and we're gonna burn it. And then we cut back to the creepy Adams Family house. The lead singer is kind of he's like making a tune and whatnot. The severed hand that we saw earlier is moving now. I don't know how and I don't know why.
It's like
It's
it's
like
like it's like
magic.
dancing to his he's got like a bass, and he's jamming out a little bit, and
Yeah,
the hand is just kind of dancing there in the jar of piss.
it's
What a
so
world.
it's so weird. I gotta say, like this whole sequence, I was just so glazed over. And it almost seems it just seems so surreal too because there's photo like almost family photos of murders being committed. Um,
Yeah, the editing, I mean, it like verges on experimental almost.
yeah,
Like it's very incomprehensible because they're just like flashing between like these like pictures on the wall, and then back to this guy. He's like jamming out, and there's like a tarantula that he keeps like swatting at, and then it like comes back to life and keeps moving.
yep,
And then we get these weird like flashes of the rest of the band like pretending to be dead, but then like you know saying haha I got you when the other guy comes over looking concerned. And there's like a couple shots too of like a lady dancing in the middle of a field.
very yeah, very weird. And then it all culminates in the blonde taking a shower, and one of the hard rockers joins her and they have an exchange of words and essentially he's like, oh, this is like this movie, and she's like, no, it's more like Psycho, and then she
Huh.
stabs him in the chest. And I was like, okay, I guess out of all the clever things that was kind of clever.
Because it was a kill in a shower, someone getting stabbed in a
Yeah, I was like, I'll go with this. I get it,
fine,
I get
fine,
this
whatever
joke.
movie.
Exactly. Exactly, fine, fuck it, whatever, let's keep moving. But yeah, and then we cut to a Halloween Kills esque situation of people burning records saying hard rock will die tonight, and
Evil dies tonight.
it's just like an orgy of these townsfolk just stomping records and stuff like that. And again,
Yeah.
it's edited like a music video. It's so quick. You don't get time to spend with any one thing. It's just like these flashes.
Because like at this point, after the one band member gets stabbed psycho style in the shower, then yeah, like it goes to another musical montage of the townsfolk smashing their heavy metal records, cut together with like the rest of the band getting murdered by the Adams family.
Yeah.
And there's one really funny shot, which is like the only, well, up to this point, it's the only like gore that we see in the movie. Like this one, I think it's like the keyboard player gets stabbed once in the stomach by the blonde lady, and then just like a chunk of him falls out onto the ground.
It's
It's like a cantaloupe sized just like piece of nondescript bloody flesh. I'm just like, where did that come from? He like got stabbed. He got shanked once with like a switchblade, and this like hunk of him just falls out.
it's so weird. It's so sloppy.
Yeah.
Um, and then like there's just it's really hard to describe. Like the lead singer, he finds Cassie again. He gives her the song that he's written, and she's still kind of warning him about all the things that are happening.
Oh
And
yeah. He like gives her a tape where he's like, listen to this and then get out. And then he like runs back to the house to like save his band members, I think.
but there's a Nazi there who uses throwing knives to get him stuck to a tree, and then he gets cut with a weed whacker and
I,
killed.
I think we need to pump the brakes there. You mentioned the fact that there's a Nazi there. This
Yeah,
is
did that
like,
catch anyone off guard that there's
yeah,
Nazis in this
like
movie now?
yeah, it will become worse, but the fact that because he's like the groundskeeper guy, like the bald groundskeeper, all of a sudden he just shows up and he's got like a Nazi armband on, like a
Yeah.
big, one of the like the red swastikas. It comes out of left field, but at this point, there's so much other weird, nonsensical shit happening that you just kind of roll with that punch.
At
But
this
it's
point, there's so many fields.
you just you kind of let that one go. But as we'll find out soon, it's the one thing that you shouldn't have let go.
Yeah, this movie gets deep really quick.
Yeah,
We're
deep
soon
into
left
shit.
with just the manager. The manager is the only guy who's alive, and he's eating breakfast with the old German people, and they're wanting to hire him to do stuff.
Which I
They
guess
might
like,
have had a reason why, but to me, it's just stuff.
yeah, just to like, oh, you'll be my assistant, and they don't really explain where the rest of the band is. Like,
And he
did
doesn't
they
seem concerned about it.
no, like you think that there would be like one line where it's like, oh, they skipped town, or they went out like they're on, out on a bender and they just like skip town and they're doing something somewhere. Like, give the manager some excuse as to why they're not there anymore. But he just kind of accepts it. Oh, I guess I live with this creepy family now.
Exactly. Uh yeah, that's again, I would say that it was weird if it was any other movie. And the fact that the guy is eating dinner with like the entire family, quote unquote family, and he's sitting next to the little demon guy
Yeah, that
as if
doesn't.
it's nothing.
It's just like a matter of course for him. Oh, this is a thing that is happening as I'm eating that dinner next to a little goblin man.
But I think what's more concerning about the little goblin man is that the old German guy turns out to be Adolf Hitler. He stands up, he removes his fake mustache to reveal his Hitler mustache underneath it, and he's in the full Hitler regalia. And behind him is a map of the world, and there's just lit up swastikas and Nazi flags come out of like nowhere in
Yeah,
the
like
room.
banners just unfurl on the walls. Like, okay, we've got to pause here because if you were looking at my note sheet, it starts off with just like what in all caps, and then it's just kind of like me smashing my head in the keyboard, just like random all caps letters. I was so floored by this random reveal that it was Hitler all along.
It seems like someone got bored and was like, we need a twist. Just make him Hitler.
Like, you, you almost got to give the movie a little respect for how fucking bonkers that idea is,
Oh,
and that they
definitely.
actually went with it. Oh, wouldn't it be funny if this weird this German Gomez Adams is actually Hitler in disguise?
It's
Wow. It made
it's
my
it
head spin around.
it's definitely interesting. Here's a weird question for you. Who's your favorite actor to portray Hitler in a film?
I would probably have to go with Charlie Chaplin when he did like the not Hitler in The Great Dictator.
Good choice. I'm gonna go with Taika Waititi and
Oh,
Jojo
and
Rabbit.
Jojo Rabbit, yeah. What a weird question to ask in a podcast. Answer along at home, folks.
It is about movies.
It is about. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
I think Taika did a really great job of taking the piss on Hitler. Did you know that Hitler is a pretty bad guy?
If you haven't heard of
Um,
this guy, he's a real bad egg. That
have
guy.
you have you ever heard? It was a joke by the late great Norm Macdonald, and he was essentially like, yeah, that Hitler guy, he's pretty bad, but you know who we should be celebrating? The guy who killed Hitler. And he just kind of like waits for people to realize
Until
that
it let us sink in.
he's still talking about Hitler.
God damn it, Norm Macdonald. You you son of a bitch.
But yeah, turns out this dude straight up Nazi. And I did
Yeah.
not see that coming.
We'll be
Thank
here
you,
all week,
thank you.
folks. Tip your waiters.
So we cut to Cassie, and she's mourning over some graves. I'm assuming it's the Hard Rockers, even though news of the Hard Rockers deaths haven't been brought out.
Having been brutally murdered by a weird, like, zombie Hitler cult or
Yeah,
actual Hitler in this California, and they're like buried, like they had like a funeral for them.
yeah, it's really weird. And if you think that was weird, we cut back to Hitler and the band manager, and Hitler's going over all the different kinds of gases that he's making, yellow gas and blue gas, and showing him a furnace. Like, we have lost all decorum and taste in this movie.
Oh yeah, this was the second time where I was really really close to shutting this movie off on principle because of how like in poor taste this whole scene is. He's like
Yeah,
walking around and bragging to the manager about, look at all of my great execution devices. Wow, it's a funny joke in a funny movie about Hitler.
and I
Good
think
God.
it shows the fine line that you need to walk when you want to take the piss on something. Like, Taika Waititi's performance and portrayal of Hitler is so over the top and so zany that like it's not believable, because he's a kid's vision of what he thinks Hitler is, right?
Yeah, it's
And that's
that.
what makes
Yeah.
it interesting, and like how the kid is wrong on a lot of accounts of who Hitler is, and I guess his special powers, because people thought he was like a god.
Special power. Yeah, it's
Um,
it's that line between something that's like really poor taste and satire, and this is just a little too far on the side of like reality that
yeah,
it's just uncomfortable to watch and listen to.
because at one point Taika eats a unicorn as Hitler, and in this film they're literally talking about gas that kills
Yeah,
people, and yeah,
and,
it's a little
and
too close to the real world.
yeah, exactly. And there's no joke. Like the joke is, haha, it's Hitler in 1985 and he's talking about execution devices. Like there's no joke. It's That's the difference between Jojo Rabbit and this movie.
This one doesn't have a joke. And you think that maybe, of course, like I would assume Hard Rock Zombies, not a major motion blockbuster. Uh, but you
Yeah.
think people would eventually get this idea that you making fun of Hitler uh is very hard. But did you know that in 1990, the British made a show called Heil Honey, I'm Home?
What is it?
Yeah. So in the TV show Heil Honey, I'm Home, the plot of the first episode and the only episode that ever aired on TV centers around the British Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain coming to the Hitler house. Hitler is alive and well. He lives with Ava Braun, and it's a comedy.
Is it just like a sitcom where it's like Hitler's the kind of like kooky neighbor?
It centers on Adolf Hitler and Ava Braun, who live next door to a Jewish couple, Arnie and Rosa Goldenstein.
Oh
The show
no.
spoofs elements of mid 20th
No, no,
century American
no.
sitcoms and is driven by Hitler's inability to get along with his neighbors. It caused controversy when broadcast and has been called perhaps the world's most tasteless situation comedy.
Yeah, I certainly hope so. I hope someone threw that like all copies of that episode into like the River Thames or something like that.
It's
Just get it out of existence.
it's insane, right?
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. What's even worse is
to
like
think it could be lower brow than Hard Rock Zombies.
you have to Google or go to the IMDb page for it because their like intro credits for it is very I Love Lucy, and it's so weird because you have someone had to animate Hitler in an intro card credit.
Oh, that poor animator had to live with themselves, drawing
How
cell by cell, day by day.
how did these actors go? This is acceptable.
This is a good career choice.
And what's even weirder is that these actors still had careers after it. Like the guy who played Hitler and Heil Honey still continued to act even after it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's I kind of impressive that he managed to salvage that that TV poison that was that show.
It's so weird. They did make 8 shows altogether, but only one was ever aired. Back to this movie though.
I think that segue into other tasteless Hitler in media.
It's I don't know. It kind of makes me wonder what other previous Hitler things have been attempted but failed,
Oh,
rightfully so.
I'm sure. Yeah, there's a lot of crap that's kind of falls in this territory where like they think it's funny, but it's just tasteless and uncomfortable.
I remember an episode of Wonder Woman with Linda Carter where they were transplanting Hitler's brain into another body. Or maybe
I
that's a fever dream.
Phil, I don't remember that episode.
As we get like another music video type montage thing, and the Hard Rock Zombies are now alive. No one's really conjured them. There was no spooky spell said, but they are alive, quote, are unalive, and they're back for vengeance. And they kill the bald zombie, and they kind of look like they're from Kiss. They have the bot like the face paint and stuff.
I'm so glad you said that. I like the zombie makeup, quote unquote, that they're in. It looks like a Kiss outfit because they've all like one of them's got like a little thing over his eye, and the other one's got like whiskers, which I think is actual Kiss makeup.
Yeah. Oh
So
yeah,
what?
he looks like the cat. I'm
Yeah,
not
like
a I don't know all their names in Kiss.
yeah, the character names I don't know either, but it like it does not look like they're zombies, but they walk around like zombies. They're kind of like doing that kind of like stiff arm shuffle
Yeah.
as they
You,
they get revenge on the Adams family.
I think Kiss it has like Gene Simmons, Catboy, Starface, and
Catboy.
other dude. I think that's their
Yep,
official
that's
lineup
it.
name.
Gene Simmons, Catboy, other dude, and Diamond Face.
Diamond Face. Uh
That's Kiss, folks.
as the Hard Rock Zombies go into the base of Adolf Hitler, they quickly dispatch the werewolf woman, and yeah, everything is so quick. Like all these kills, the comeuppance essentially is so quick. There's no real
Yeah,
room to like enjoy it.
And
because
again,
it again
it's
it's
in
like
a
a
music
music video.
video. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like quick cuts back and forth. And I think it ends when they kind of like do that stupid trope of them like surrounding someone, like they surround Hitler and then they all kind of like lean into the camera. And
Yeah.
that's the scene.
Hitler has his like Luger, he's like shooting it up in the air. Uh and then they, I'm assuming, gang bang him. And
In this movie, fuck it. Sure.
you never know. And
Zombie Hitler gangbang.
technically the entire movie has been resolved now. Like the zombies have gotten revenge, right? They've killed their captors, but we're only at 51 minutes, a fucking 1 hour and 36 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. This was the definitely the time I was looking hard at that like progress bar. And
Yep.
so much movie left. I don't wanna.
And you quickly realize that all the Nazis and evil people are now zombies.
For
And
reasons.
I I don't know. I was getting so upset that this movie was persisting. I gotta say, I think I blacked out for like 10 minutes.
You get like that span of missing time that you get when you get abducted by aliens.
Because again, it's just kind of like it's just more pedophilia songs about the lead singer wanting to bang this 15-year-old, and it's just so not enthralling to watch.
No, yeah. The whole montage is it's not even like you think there would be like a satisfying like kill for that Hitler zombie, or for actually at this point he's normal human Hitler, but like you don't even get that
Yeah,
after all that like painful crap and with him talking about the gas. Like, give us that at least, movie. Come on.
exactly. Eventually, when I came to, and I don't think we really missed anything. I just remember one of the little people who is now a Nazi zombie. He's now on a farm and he's trying to bite a cow. Do you remember that?
Is that's when that happens?
Yeah. He somehow waddles into a farm and he starts to try to gnaw on a cow's back.
Oh yeah, because that's okay. Because that we're like in another montage now because we get the montage of the zombie band killing the Nazi Adams family, and then now we're in another montage of the Nazi Adams family, the now zombie Nazi Adams family. They're like wreaking havoc on the town, and yeah, we get that part where the little guy, one of the goblin guys, is like trying to eat a cow alive by jumping
Yep.
on its back, and then there's another really uncomfortable part where one of the townsfolk he shows up randomly and he sees the grandma laying dead on the ground and goes to he's like starts to grope her,
Yeah.
and
He
then she
grabs her
comes,
boob.
yeah, he like grabs her boob, and he's like looking around like he's trying to be sneaky, and then as soon as he turns around, she turns back into like a zombie werewolf and jumps on his back and starts chewing on him.
That's okay though. He's a sex pest.
He's a sex pest. He deserves it.
100%. Sex pests deserve to be zombified, werewolf.
Eaten by Nazi werewolf undead zombies.
Yes. There's also a gag where people keep finding a severed head.
Okay. You touched on the one part of this movie that I actually got a chuckle out of. So there's like you get this scene where I think it's the skinhead zombie
Yeah.
who like he like creeps up on this couple who's having like a picnic, and he grabs the guy and kind of like, you know, drags him off into the bushes and eats him, and then like his severed head kind of like comes rolling out, and the woman, she like picks up the head and looks at it and she's like, honey, are you okay? Are you gonna be all right? And then,
Heads just like pop off like
oh yeah,
toys in this movie.
just like, yeah, no problem. It's, yeah, super easy to cut through like all of the muscle and bone. Yeah, no problem. Anyway, like so this like the picnic lady, like she's like carrying it around throughout the montage, and you see her like she like shows up at her friend's house with the head, and she's like, you need to let me in so I can call the cops. And the friend's like, well, that head, it's dripping blood, and I just wax the floors. Haha. And then so she like leaves the head outside with the friend's daughter, and then the daughter like picks up the head And she's like, so long. And then just like tosses the head behind her.
It's
It's so surreal.
it is. The entire movie is surreal at this point because as all of this happens, we the Hard Rock Zombies are now playing for the guy, like
Oh
the
yeah.
music executive, and he's loving it. He's like, yeah, we got like the next big thing. And again, they're just playing like their pedophile songs. And then it's essentially like back of the town, it's just chaos. And
Yeah,
then
well, like
eventually all
they're
of the zombies break in
yes,
on the
yeah.
musical act.
And do they is that do they kill the record executive then? Or does that happen in a different
Because
spot?
he's like dancing in the stands, and you see the serial killer woman like creeping and peeping over the chairs, and then yeah, eventually they kill the record executive, and then they start to get the zombies to walk down some corridors and into a building where the Hard Rock Zombies are playing, and they're gonna like they turn on a sprinkler system. It's a sprinkler system, right?
That's the that they somehow walk them into the
And back into
Hitler
Hitler's house.
back into Hitler's execution basement where he was
And they
talking
turn
about
on
the
the
gas.
gas.
Yes.
And they start killing all the zombies. That makes a lot more sense. I was really confused by what was happening. This is Hitler's basement, and these zombies are getting killed by Hitler's gas. This sounds like we're making it up.
This is 100% things that happen in the movie. I think we skipped the part where the townsfolk they're like holed up in the basement of the town hall, and they realize that the zombies don't like heads. They don't eat the heads because the heads are where the brain is, and the zombies are the opposite of like intellect, so that they like spit out the head. They don't eat the heads. And the town thinks that this is a thing that they can exploit to escape by walking around with big cardboard cutouts of like people's heads, like headshots. There's like a Marilyn Monroe poster. There's like an Elvis
That's right.
poster,
That's right.
and they, they try to escape with these posters, and it doesn't fucking work. They get eaten immediately, and then the horde like doubles in size at that point because now they got all the townsfolk as zombies. And I think then we get that part where they like are led away by the good zombie band into Hitler's
Into
murder
Hitler's
dungeon.
basement, where they turn the gas on and kill everyone. And finally, thank Christ, the credits roll, but not before Cassie laments the fact that she'll never get pedophiled. And that's Hard Rock Zombies.
Yes. Yes,
Zero.
it was. Wow, you could come out swinging with a zero real hard.
It nothing in the movie was enjoyable.
Yeah, no, I gave it a half a star. Half a star for two things. One, the reaction that it got out of me when the old German guy pulled his mask off and it was fucking Adolf Hitler. I
Yeah,
hate it. I hate it, but I have to respect the fact that it got a reaction out of me because I was basically asleep at that point in the movie, and it like blew my hair back. Like, what the hell is happening?
it's the absurdity that they would even think about putting Hitler in a
Yes,
movie.
it is so absurd. And so that was part of it, and then the other part was getting me to chuckle a little bit with how they handled that, like the lady carrying around her husband's severed head and like talking to it like he was still alive. Like that's all. That's kind of in that like airplane humor territory,
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I
which
get
like
that.
yeah, the only like it was somewhat well executed. The rest of it I actively hated and despised. It was I don't know. So what do you think? I mean, I feel like the other like the gold standard for us for like comedies that we hate is Dr. Heckle and Mr. Hype. We talk about that movie all the time as a comparison.
Yes.
Is this did this top that in terms of just comedy that you hate?
I no, because this isn't comedic. You see, Dr. Hackle and Mr. Hype attempted comedy. They had jokes, right? And gags. And they
Okay.
thought out the gags and they thought out the jokes.
And
Like
they were just bad.
Mrs. Fatbottom, right? Like,
Oh God, the whole
this
doctor
is a
thing.
foot that I could love.
And the
Uh
tickle doctor, tickle
yeah,
therapy doctor.
tickle therapy doctor. I honestly think we love Dr. Heckle and Mr. Hype after because we're able to recount a lot. Dick Miller going like, I can't throw away another dead body. This movie had
Uh
no gag. It had no joke.
yeah, I think you're right. I suspect that while we actively hated it, we're not going to be talking about it again after a couple weeks.
No, never.
I mean,
And yet
time will
here we
tell, but
are talking about Dr. Heckle and Mr. Hype.
it is, yeah, that was the gold standard for bad comedies. And because it had that, yeah, that combination of badly executed jokes, but also kind of weird, but funny Dick Miller things and other parts that are memorable. I don't aside from the Hitler reveal, I don't know what's going to be memorable in this.
Yeah, I think anytime there's a Hitler reveal in any movie, it's always a little shocking
It's a
and
little
like,
jarring, yeah.
yeah, it's like, okay, Hitler, he's in this now. Cool. Yeah, no,
Q
I don't.
groans.
Q
I mean,
groans.
like this, yeah. There's really not much else to talk about. I mean, it's very like at a technical level, it's very amateurish. It looks like garbage. It sounds like garbage.
The
The
music
audio,
is garbage.
yeah. Even the band that because I'm sure it was a real band that they got, and that's why they featured so many like full music videos is because they wanted to get their money's worth and they thought that they were talented. But like maybe they were talented in real life, but the way that they recorded the audio was bad. Like it just sounded terrible. Um, the the script was bad. The performance it was just bad all around.
Everyone involved in this movie should feel bad.
Did you look at for any of the actors or actresses? Has besides the one Goblin dude, has anyone else had a career after this movie?
He's the only one that you can click in Wikipedia. And when you go to
Yeah,
IMDb, most of these people don't even have pictures.
I think that says it all. Like if they don't
Yeah.
if they've got no link or a red link in Wikipedia or nothing in IMDb, you know that career ended pretty quick.
Yeah. It's yeah, it's definitely a zero. Whoo, but you know what, Greg? I think we watched a movie yesterday together inside of a movie house.
What do they call those things? They're like places where they put movies on a bigger screen than your
I
TV.
Oh, okay. I think it's a place. It's called Let Me Drop My Fucking Popcorn Bucket uh
Gung, gung,
two
gung, gung,
fucking
gung, gung.
times.
Oh my gosh.
So we saw Dune at the Draft House.
We did, yes.
Uh
And
I
it
think
was
we
your
both first time
what
back. Yeah, it was my first time
yeah.
back.
Yeah, but we'd gone to a couple movies, real movies, not Hard Rock Zombies, real movies like The Thing, classic, love it, cherish it forever. But yeah, we've been back to the movies a couple times, and yeah, we saw Dune, which on opening weekend, and pretty good.
Yeah, it was fun. I think I described it to Jackie pretty much the same way I did to you. I had a great time, but if they don't make part two, I will never rewatch this movie because it's pointless now. Um,
Yeah, that was kind of our consensus was that it was which is understandable because of the amount of world building that they have to do, but that's basically all that this movie was kind of setting a foundation for people, places, and terminology that you need to understand the actual plot, which really
yeah.
doesn't kind of get going until later in the movie. We're kind of bashing it now, which is kind of it doesn't it was a good movie. Like we highly recommend seeing it,
Oh,
but
definitely.
be pre-
Definitely.
you have that's what it is. And it did what it could with that.
And as of right now, worldwide, it's made $220 million, which I wonder what the budget
Wow.
on this thing is.
Uh, a lot more than that, probably.
165 million.
Oh, okay.
So
So
I
it's had a good
don't,
opening weekend.
and it's really hard to like figure out what is good and bad at this time, just because of the pandemic and stuff. If you look at Denis Villeneuve's last film, Blade Runner 2049, worldwide, it made $259 million, not during a pandemic.
Oh, before I forget, how much money did Hard Rock Zombies make?
Oh, it's not even said. I don't think that it's calculable. It's so small. It's infinitesimal.
It's like the cost of the drinks that the people bought at the bar where they showed this movie, because that's
Yeah.
the only place that they could show it. Was like the idiot producers, all they could do was like rent out the bar, the local town bar, to show the movie that they made to the people who were in it, and that's it.
It's so bad that the YouTube copy doesn't even have comments on it.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's usually when we watch these like crappy VHS rips, which by the way, that's the only place that we could find this movie, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like,
There's
yeah,
I don't think
I
there's a DVD for this.
but usually those are good for a couple like funny comments. A couple of comments, a couple of the quotes of the week have been that, but yeah, that's a mark of true poor quality when you don't even get that.
It's yeah.
But
It's
anyway,
definitely
Dune
something.
made money. It deserved to make money, I
It,
think.
Dune definitely deserves to make money, and it deserves a sequel, and I really hope it does
Yeah, to
get a
finish up
sequel.
that story. I was one of those obnoxious jerks who's like, well, actually, in the book they did it this way, blah 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 blah. But one of the things I wanted to mention was like, it for that movie. I don't know. It's such like an information fire hose, especially in like the first half of like new terminology. I don't. I kind of feel bad for people who haven't read the book, because I found out it was like hard for me enough to keep up sometimes. I mean, I guess it's yeah. I guess you just kind of like roll with it after a while, but that's maybe the one bad thing I have to say about it is it's just there's so much like sci-fi fantasy jargon all at once. It's
Oh
hard to keep
yeah.
up.
It's a lot. It's a lot to take in. Uh, one of the other movies that I recently watched was one. It was called Resurrection, released through Vinegar Syndrome. It was one of the monthly movies. It stars Christopher Lambert and is about a seasoned police detective and his partner must uncover a string of unusual murders that lead them to a serial killer who believes that he is a descendant of Judas. Um, my my review for it is trigger warning: if dangling babies and dead dicks upset you, don't watch this. There are multiple wiener shots in this film of corpses, so you get a bunch of dead wieners, and at one point there is a dangling naked baby in this movie.
Ugh.
So trigger warning: if you get upset by seeing wieners or dangling babies, don't watch this movie.
I think it was probably safe to say that no one listening is going to go watch that movie anyway.
It's interesting. I think like seven ripoffs are interesting to see someone else's take on it, like how they would do like the hard grizzled detective movie. This one is, there's at points where I was like, wow, this is really good, and there's other points where I was like, why the fuck are we watching this? So
It's almost like it's like in the same level of bad taste territory as Hard Rock Zombies almost.
yeah, it
Like
definitely.
that shock value. But like you mentioned like the seven ripoffs. That itself is almost a genre. Like the it's like a combination crime movie, but also horror elements
Definitely.
with the
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
with the amped up gore. So yeah, I mean, feel like yeah, seven did it best, and you're not likely to see a better one.
Oh no. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to top David Fincher, right?
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
do you have anything notable that you watched this week?
Yeah, I mean, other than Dune, I think yeah, we were keeping on with our Halloween viewing. So this was our kind of 90s and 2000s week. So the probably the highlight of it was we rewatched Wreck,
Nice.
the
Yeah.
Spanish like found footage movie from 2007, 8, I think. Definitely one of the better like of like the glut of found footage movies that we got in like the decade after Blair Witch Project. Um, really good effects, like one of the better not just a found footage movie, but better like zombie movies that were kind of popular around then too in the early 2000s. Really great like production too, just like the lots of long takes. I mean, the whole movie practically takes place in near real time, which is really like impressive from just having like all the cast having to rehearse all this stuff and kind of like do these long takes and kind of nail them, which is impressive. It was really hard to find a version of this movie though that had the original Spanish audio. We actually had to get like a DVD copy because all we could find otherwise was dubs, which drives me up the wall when like the lips and the audio don't match up. I'd
when it
much
doesn't
rather read
match up.
subtitles. Yeah.
Did you ever
And
see any of the sequels?
no, I haven't seen the sequels, and I haven't seen the American remake with what's her
Quarantine.
name? Quarantine, yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any of that. So I almost probably will avoid it if I can, just to not like tarnish my opinion of the original.
I think Quarantine is a pretty decent remake. I saw it before I knew what Rec was.
Oh, okay. So is it like basically a shot for shot remake?
Pretty much. Pretty
Okay.
much like the same idea, the same everything, right?
Well, I guess if it's
I've
that accurate, it's probably going to be good, just because it's right in the coattails of the original.
but you've never seen Rec 2?
No, I haven't. Is it bad?
Okay, it's again, I enjoyed it, but there's twists in it that definitely like isn't set up in the first Rec.
Interesting. So were they just trying to like cash in on the popularity? Because I think the
I
lady
think
is still in it,
so.
right? The main reporter.
Yeah, they needed they needed like a thing to do with it and take it like that. Like Halloween 2 is like it's Michael Myers, brother or
Yeah,
sister or whatever.
shit. That
So,
original was so popular, made so much money. Just write something and get it out there.
yep. And this is like picks up 15 minutes right where the last one leaves off. And of course, they have to add a twist to it to, I guess keep it interesting, quote unquote. And they do. And it's good for the most part, but I mean, it's kind of hard to top that first one.
Yeah, as usual. I mean, you got a lot of those like horror sequels for like genre fans like us. I mean, the sequels have their own kind of camp quality to them that are usually sometimes good, but if anyone listening, if you haven't seen, watch the first one and then pretend the rest don't exist.
Yeah. I don't think there's quite a few of them actually. I think there's like 5 Rec films now. I've only
Five.
seen 2.
Is the
Yeah,
lady in all of them? The main lady?
don't I don't think so. And I think that's the issue with the ones beyond Rec 2 is that they don't have the original woman. Like Rec 3, the tagline for it is you may now kiss the bride.
Ugh.
And Rec 4 is called Apocalypse. And it honestly, like at least the cover, it looks like it could be a Resident Evil movie.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not too surprised because they made how many sequels to the Resident Evil series? Speaking of that one, like that kind of movie was just
Tons.
the zombie movies in the like early 2000s to like shortly after like 2012, 2013 were really popular. I'm not surprised that they juiced that orange as much as they possibly could.
They have a new Resident Evil movie coming out too. Resident Evil, Welcome to Raccoon City. It comes out just in time for Halloween on November 24th.
Oh man, you know what's ripe for a remake, Phil? Hard Rock Zombies.
Hard Rock Zombies. I think if you got like the right act for it, if you got like a legit band, I could see something working.
Yeah, I mean, like there's lots of like rock and roll like horror comedies that came out of the 80s. I don't know how you do that to make it relevant now because I feel like the heavy metal movie isn't the thing anymore. Would it still be
Korean K-pop.
ooh, like a okay. Because Train to Busan was awesome. They can do a good Koreans can do a good zombie movie.
What's that popular K-pop band? BTS,
BTS, PTSD.
BDSM. You get them They're filming a music video. It's because like they always have like they have themed music videos. This one is like a Halloween music video,
Ooh, I
and they
like
have like
it.
a good poppy Halloween song, and
I'm
everyone's
gonna
dressed
eat
up.
your brains. Bah,
Yeah,
bah, 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 bah.
yeah, exactly. They cut
Whatever
out
the hell.
all the pedophilia.
A plus
It's
move right there.
step one. Uh, Everyone's dressed to the nines, right? They all have like very elaborate makeup on, and one of them is bit by a zombie, and you can't tell who is or isn't a zombie because like all we'll say like all the background people are zombies, right? So it becomes kind of like a thing type situation where you can't trust anyone.
Oh, see that what I was gonna think angle. I like that angle. You could also do like I'm imagining the reveal of it would be like when shit finally hits the fan, it would be them recording, and then like when they leave the studio, I'm sure they get mobbed by like fans, right?
Yeah,
Like you do that in the beginning, they get mobbed by fans and they push through it, whatever, and then it happens again later, but the mob is actually like they're all zombie fans
yes,
and they don't tell the difference right away until they start like biting them and they're like, oh shit. But you have to, if it's going to be a true remake of Hard Rock Zombies, there has to be a twist where, well, they have to become zombies, but like good zombies somehow, and they like still perform.
and they need the one of them is Kim Jong Un in disguise.
I was just gonna say, what's you can't do another Hitler reveal because gross. No, I don't want to see it. But oh my god, a Kim Jong Il, like zombie Kim Jong Il, comes back. And okay, so what was he? How does he meet zombie BTS, whatever they're called? Like
Uh,
how does he meet the group?
he kind of just works at the studio, and we'll say like he's kind of like a lowly pencil pusher, but he's like very excited about K-pop because
Oh
Kim Jong
yeah,
Il defected from North Korea for his love for
for
K-pop.
love of K-pop, and he's living in a small town. And when they come to tour there, he's like the local like record like company rep, and he's like,
Yeah.
hey, it's a small town. There's no hotels. Come stay with me in my old house with my
Yep.
family.
And there's a tunnel that secretly goes to North Korea, and they're going to kidnap BTS and give them back to Kim Jong Un, and that's because they're going to want to kickstart the North Korean economy with a bump in K-pop band.
Yes, exactly. And they're so they try to brainwash him, but then they accidentally kill BTS when the zombie fans get BTS, and then BTS they eat or they try to kill disguise Kim Jong Il and turn him into zombie Kim Jong Il, and they spread the zombie virus to North Korea.
Yes,
Oh, and then it spreads from North Korea down into South Korea, and boom, it's a prequel to Train to Busan.
there we go.
Done.
Cinematic universe right there. done in done in like 5 minutes.
Who's that really famous director who made Parasite? He won the Academy Award. What's his name?
Oh my god. Yeah.
It's
Bon
Bong
Bon
Joon
Joon Ho.
Ho. Ho, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure we're butchering the pronunciation, but hey, man, give us a call. We will happily license this movie idea to you.
Yeah. And really any director at this point. Bong Joon Ho, Guillermo del Toro. I mean,
Any of you
shit.
guys who like your genre weirdo movies, give
I'll
us a
even take a
ring.
Michael Bay at this point. All right.
Michael Bay, you want to get into that South Korean market?
Yeah.
We've got your picture.
We can have Damon Wayans, not Damon Wayans. What's his name? What's his
Marlon
name from
Wayans,
Bad? No, he's from Bad Boys. He's not Will Smith. Martin
Martin
Lawrence.
Lawrence, yes,
Matthew Martin Lawrence. We can
Matthew
get
Martin
him. Shit, we
Lawrence.
can do Will Smith, even though he's box office poison.
It's like After Earth, but zombies, and it's good.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, I like this. I like this idea of a Hard Rock Zombies remake being remade with a K-pop band as a prequel to Train to Busan. That's
We got
solid gold
this.
right there.
Speaking of box office poison, Greg,
Oh no.
did you know that in the year 1985, a Chuck Norris film written by Aaron Norris, Chuck's brother, was released?
He's got a brother.
Yeah.
Oh.
And unfortunately, it's the next movie that we're going to watch. It's called Invasion USA.
Oh.
Directed by Joe Zito. Exactly. Yeah. I'll find the air horn thing and put it there.
Put it in there.
This is also, sadly, the last Joe Zito film that we'll get in the Canon Film Library. He only has 3 other films after this: Red Scorpion, starring Dolph Lundgren; Delta Force One, The Lost Patrol, starring Mike Norris.
Is that another Norris brother?
He's the eldest son of the actor and martial arts champion Chuck Norris.
Oh.
And a movie called Power Play, starring actors. One of them is named Eastwood, but I highly doubt. Oh my God. It's starring Allison Eastwood, whose dad is Clint Eastwood.
Boy, he's like making a career out of famous like sons and nephews and nieces.
Clint Eastwood's fucking 91 years old. That motherfucker's still alive.
How old is Chuck Norris?
I'm calling it right now. Clint isn't making it past this year.
You're here first, folks. Taking bets on when famous actors and actresses are gonna die.
That's based off of a Clint Eastwood film called The Deadpool. It's a Dirty Harry film where they bet on actors who are gonna die.
Classy.
Chuck Norris is 81.
Really?
Holy shit, he's old.
He is old. I would not have guessed that.
He's got 4 more years.
4 more years.
But yeah, that's the next one.
So Invasion USA.
You can watch it on Tubi.
Oh, thank God. For free.
Yes. For free. It's actually free. It's not freemium or anything like that. It's just got to suffer through a couple commercials.
Okay. So, I mean, we're going to inevitably compare this to Missing in Action and the Missing in Action sequel prequel.
Yes.
Is it going to be better?
I will say when I look at the poster for it, it's Chuck Norris and he's got a couple of Uzis, and there's the Capitol building and some tanks. I'm going to say that this movie is a giant piece of shit. And
a solid choice. Yeah. Okay. There's
you see the Capitol building, but if you look over to the other side of them, you see the Twin Towers.
Oh,
those are in 2 totally different places in the United States, which I get. It's Invasion USA, but apparently it's only the East Coast.
Oh, I mean, I guess there's, if you needed like the Golden Gate Bridge or the Seattle Space Needle or something to give some like West Coast flavor there, but okay. Well, yeah, I mean, I'll say this. I feel like a lot of the movies we watch, especially a lot of the B, really like B action movies, they all take place in the jungle in one way or another, which Missing in Action really suffered from. I mean, obviously it was Vietnam, like a Vietnam kind of era movie, but I'll be happy to have it set in like a familiar territory with like buildings and things.
Greg, it's going to be set in a fucking alleyway. If you think that they're going to like film this in downtown DC.
I mean, no, hell no. I'm burnt out on jungle and trees and guys running around in the woods shooting guns. I'll happily swap that in for idiots running around alleys shooting guns.
There's going to be a scene where they're like by the reflecting pond or something like that, but no action takes anywhere near it. It's all going to be in like Arlington or
somewhere where they can we'll get like an establishing shot, like stock footage of the Capitol, and then we'll switch like, oh, we're in quote unquote Arlington now, but it looks generic enough that you could be shooting it anywhere. It's probably somewhere in Atlanta or something.
I could totally see that. Um, yeah, so that's the next one that we're gonna watch. What was the quote of the week for this week though?
I almost forgot. So the quote of the week was a nice little bit of almost admirable like self-awareness of this stupid Hard Rock Zombies movie, where it's a part sort of like in somewhere in the third act where the townsfolk are like trying to figure out what the hell's going on and trying to like, hatch a plan to escape. And they realize that like I don't remember what the whole plan was. They realize why the zombies are doing what they're doing and blah 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 blah. It doesn't matter. But one of the characters says, "That doesn't sound right. That sounds like a cheap movie." And then the manager says, "This whole day has been like a cheap movie."
No, that's an old wives' tale.
No, it happened once in Los Angeles. The ghouls returned to their graves after ravishing a virgin in the moonlight at midnight. It's the only way they have sex.
Where'd they find a virgin in Los Angeles?
It was 1890. So they stay in their graves until 1990, unless an earthquake makes it happen sooner.
God. This sounds like a cheap movie.
This whole day's been like a cheap movie.
Blah, 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 blah.
Love
Yeah, it's again, it's that was the other part that kind of got a little bit of a chuckle out of me. That's like, oh, the movie, maybe you don't take yourself so seriously. I mean, how could you with what this is? But
I mean, you got fucking Hitler in it.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's Hard Rock Zombies.
Man, it's great to be watching canon films again.
Can we just like go back and watch Halloween Kills and Dune again? Oh.
There's plenty of other movies coming out this year. There's got to be a tent pole or two that we could sneak in as a very similar movie. I don't know.
These are a lot of special episodes. We're just trying to avoid watching the rest of the canon library at this point.
This one was rough, and it definitely makes you appreciate, I guess, like that werewolf movie that we watched. It wasn't great, but it also wasn't horrible, right?
Oh, what the hell that called? Was that A Company of Wolves? The
Company of Wolves, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe Lady Shatterley's lover.
And it turns out Lady Shatterley was Hitler the whole time.
Oh my God, that would have been so dope. She's like, I fucking tricked you, woodsman. I'm a dude and I'm Hitler.
She pulls off the like, she's like wearing a wedding. It's like their wedding day. She pulls off the wedding dress and like inexplicably he's got like his full uniform on underneath.
Oh shit.
Hard Rock Zombies, you son of a bitch. You've ruined us.
Give me those cannon guys. Well, if you like what you're hearing, please subscribe to the podcast and leave a review. Give us some constructive criticism on how we can make this podcast more enjoyable to you. More Hitler, less Hitler, no Hitler. You've got it.
You got it.
Tell us what you want. You can follow us on YouTube at That's Canon. You can follow us on TikTok at That's Canon Podcast, and you can always throw us an email at thatscanon@gmail.com. The email is thatscanon, CANNON @gmail.com. And remember, since we said it,
That's canon.